Hey there, story lovers! Welcome back to the Storytelling Podcast. Today, we're taking a spooky turn as we delve into the world of British ghosts. We'll be exploring some of the most famous and terrifying hauntings in the UK, so grab your favorite spooky snack and get ready for some spine tingling tales. But before we start, I would like to ask you for your support and click on the follow or the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Our first stop is Pluckley in Kent, a village that has earned the dubious title of England's most haunted village. With 13 ghosts said to roam its streets, Pluckley is a hotbed of paranormal activity. One of the most famous ghosts is that of the Screaming Man, a figure that is seen wandering the village emitting blood-curdling shrieks, and the Brown Lady is said to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy of Barham, who died in a fire at Pluckley Manor in the 17th century. She is said to wander the grounds of the manor, searching for her lost children. We will have a full episode dedicated to Pluckley because it's so haunted and the stories are to die for. Okay, I remove myself from the building. Next story. Next, we head to Edinburgh Castle, a fortress steeped in history and, of course, haunted by a variety of spectral entities. One of the most well known is the Lone Piper, a piper who disappeared in the castle depths in the 16th century. His music is still said to be heard echoing through the castle tunnels, a mournful reminder of his tragic fate. Moving south, we arrive at the Tower of London, a place of both historical significance and chilling hauntings. Anne Boleyn, one of Henry VIII's wives, is said to haunt the tower, her headless ghost seen wandering the corridors. Another famous resident is the Grey Lady, believed to be the ghost of Lady Jane Grey, who was imprisoned and executed here. Our journey takes us to the ancient city of York, home to the haunted Treasurer's House. This beautiful Georgian mansion is said to be haunted by the ghost of a Roman soldier who died there centuries ago. His footsteps are often echoing through the hallways, and his presence is felt by many visitors. Hampton Court Palace is a magnificent royal residence with a dark side. The ghost of Catherine Howard, another of Henry VIII's wives, is said to haunt the palace, and her footsteps are said to be heard in the haunted gallery. Her presence is often felt by visitors, and some have even reportedly and even taken pictures of her ghostly figure. The Grey Lady of Glamis Castle is a spectral figure that is said to haunt Glamis Castle in Scotland. She is often described as a tall, pale woman dressed in a grey gown. This Grey Lady is said to be the ghost of Lady Janet Douglas, who was accused of witchcraft and imprisoned in the castle in the 16th century. She is said to wander the corridors of the castle with her face contorted in a silent scream. Witnesses have reported seeing the Grey Lady gliding through the hallways, her long grey hair trailing behind her. Some even claim to have heard her blood-curdling screams echoing through the castle. The Phantom Coach of Lord Lovat, a ghostly carriage that is said to haunt the Scottish Highlands, is said to be pulled by 4 black horses and driven by a headless coachman. The Phantom Coach is said to be the ghost of Simon Fraser, 11th Lord Lovat, who was beheaded for treason in 1747. It is said to appear in the night of his death, carrying his severed head inside. Some people have reported seeing the phantom coach racing through the night, its wheels rattling in the cobblestones, and hearing his screams as he drives the carriage. The Green Man of Moyle, a spectral figure that is said to haunt the village of Moyle in County Antrim, Northern Ireland, is often described as a tall green-skinned man with glowing eyes. The Green Man is said to be the ghost of a druid who was killed by Christian settlers in the 17th century. He is said to wander the woods around Moyle, seeking revenge on those who killed him. Many people have shared on social media that they have been followed or seen ghostly figures in the woods near Moyle, as well as the glowing eyes. And our final story is one of the most known poltergeists in the UK, and it's the poltergeist of Borley Rectory, a mischievous spirit that is said to be haunting Borley Rectory in Essex, England. It is said to be responsible for a number of paranormal phenomena, including moving objects, knocking sounds, and ghostly apparitions. The poltergeist of Borley Rectory is said to be the ghost of a nun who was buried alive in the rectory grounds in the 12th century. She is said to haunt the rectory, seeking revenge on those who wronged her. Many witnesses, and there are many stories online, have reported seeing the poltergeist of Borley Rectory throwing objects around the rectory, knocking on walls, and even appearing as a ghostly figure. That's it for this episode of the Storytelling Podcast, and thank you for joining me. Remember that if you would like to send your stories or special topics to be shared in the next episodes, please send them to the storytellingpodcast80 at gmail.com. But before you go, if you haven't done that already, I would love you to click the follow or subscribe button and see you on the next episode.